My sister tried to marry my husband. You won't believe how I got revenge. I'm a 30-year-old woman and have been married to Marcus, a 32-year-old man, for 3 years now. We first met back in high school but didn't stay in touch until years later when we crossed paths again and started dating. Things moved fast after that, and we eventually got married. Our marriage has been solid, but not everyone was thrilled about it, especially my older sister, Na, who's the same age as Marcus. She and I went to the same high school, and I always knew she had a huge crush on him back then. From what Marcus told me months into our relationship, he had no clue she liked him. It was a one-sided thing, as far as we knew. When Marcus and I got engaged, Na cut me off completely. She refused to come to the wedding and hasn't spoken to me since. Honestly, I didn't care. We were never close. Na never treated me like a sister. She's never liked me, and I've spent my whole life trying to figure out why. It wasn't a case of one of us being the favorite or getting more attention. Our parents treated us the same. I wasn't better than her in school or sports, and we even looked pretty similar. But despite all that, she never wanted anything to do with me. I tried to be her friend when we were younger, but she always pushed me away. At some point, I stopped trying and just accepted that my sister hated me. So when she didn't show up to my wedding, it didn't really mean anything to me. We only ever saw each other during holidays or family events, and even then, we'd avoid each other. Everyone in the family knows we do not get along, so no one even bothers trying to fix it anymore. But about 6 months ago, she crossed a line in a way I still cannot believe. One night, Marcus got a call from Na while she was drunk. He had her on speaker, and I was sitting right next to him. She had no idea I could hear everything. She started going on and on about how Marcus had married the wrong sister, how she would have been a better wife, and how she'd still be willing to marry him either as his real wife or as his mistress. I sat there listening to it all, half laughing and half shocked. It was so ridiculous that I didn't even know how to feel at first. But the more I thought about it, the more angry I got. I had never done anything to her, and this was the level she was willing to stoop to just because she hated me. That's when I decided I was done playing nice. If she wanted to play dirty, I could play that game too. I talked to Marcus and convinced him to mess with her a little just to give her false hope and see how far she would go. It was cruel, yes, but she had it coming. Marcus ended up inviting her over and told her they could get married right then and there. She jumped at the idea, acting like she had just won the jackpot. The next day, we set up a hidden camera in our living room, and I decorated the space to make it look romantic and wedding-like. When she arrived, I stayed in the next room and watched it all on the camera feed. Watching her try to flirt with Marcus while he barely reacted was wild. They went through some fake vows and exchanged rings, and then Marcus told her to keep it all a secret until the time was right. He never kissed her, never hugged her, just played along enough to make it believable. And still, she did not catch on. After she left, Marcus and I rewatched the footage and laughed about it for a long time. The whole thing was both sad and hilarious. She had truly convinced herself that she could take my husband away from me. And the worst part? My husband only loves me. We talked about sending the video to our parents right away, but we figured we would wait. Eventually, she would try something again, and that would be the perfect moment to expose her for what she really was. I needed my parents to stop feeling sorry for her. They always treated us equally, but they also made too many excuses for her. For example, they paid for her vacation to Spain a few months before my wedding because she claimed the whole thing was stressing her out. I wanted to be angry about that, but they were also paying for my wedding venue, so I let it go. They even let her stay at their house while Marcus and I were on our honeymoon because she said she felt lonely. It frustrated me that she kept using my marriage as a way to gain sympathy, and that my parents kept falling for it. I wanted to put a stop to that. I was waiting for the right time to drop the truth on them. I knew if I sent them the video without any context, they would say I was being just as bad as she was. So I waited for her next move. And just a few days ago, it finally happened. Na went public online, claiming that she had secretly been married to Marcus for the last 6 months and was now ready to reveal the truth. She even said I had 24 hours to move out and give her all my jewelry because, as Marcus's wife, everything I had was now hers. Marcus and I were both home when this blew up. Our phones started ringing nonstop, and we were getting message after message from confused and nosy family members. Na had been texting Marcus off and on since that fake wedding. She would tell him she loved him and ask when they could make their relationship public. Marcus barely responded, maybe once a month. He always told her it wasn't the right time yet. The last time she texted him was about 3 weeks ago. I guess she got tired of waiting. I was shocked she had actually gone through with something that insane, but deep down, I figured it was only a matter of time before she did something completely out of line, and sure enough, this was it. Marcus picked up the phone and called her, and we made sure to record the whole thing because I wanted something to show my parents. Even while talking to us, she sounded confident, like she really believed she was married to my husband. Marcus handed the phone to me right away, and she started talking to me like I was irrelevant, telling me there was no point in begging or trying to fix anything because she was his wife now and I needed to deal with it. I could not help myself. I laughed out loud before laying it all out for her, what had really happened that day 6 months ago. She did not buy it, of course, and demanded to talk to her husband, so I gave Marcus the phone, and he spent 10 straight minutes trying to convince her that it was never real. I do not know what made her believe it was. There was no official officiant, no paperwork filed, and even Marcus barely responded to her texts, maybe once a month if that. You would think a person with the smallest amount of common sense would see that it was a setup. But she is too far gone, too wrapped up in her fantasy. When it finally hit her that it had all been fake, she totally lost it, screaming that we had destroyed her reputation, that we were horrible people, heartless even. She cried about how I ruined her whole life, but I think she did that on her own. She was the one who hated me so much that she tried to steal my life, and she failed. How is that my fault? After that call, Marcus and I sent the video to my parents. They had been getting questions from people about my sister's crazy post, and since they are not on social media much, they were completely in the dark. We sat them down and explained everything, told them exactly what happened, hoping they would finally see who now really was and understand why we had to handle it the way we did. But all they saw was that Marcus and I played a cruel joke on someone they believed was already unstable. They said they were ashamed of both of us and even went as far as threatening to write us out of their will unless we apologized publicly to each other. I could not believe what I was hearing. I argued with them. How was I supposed to apologize to someone who literally tried to steal my husband, my house, my things? Sure, maybe we had gone too far, but does that somehow erase what Na did? My parents would not budge. All they cared about was that I acted in a way that was, according to them, emotionally damaging and immature. They told me we should have blocked her after the drunk call and told them everything back then, instead of dragging it out just to catch her making a fool of herself in public. They think Marcus and I are selfish and need to take a long look at ourselves. My mother actually said Na might be manipulative and jealous, but that I was no better because what I did bordered on sociopathic behavior, and it broke her heart to think that her daughters hated each other so much they were willing to humiliate each other like this. That cut deep. It has been 2 days since that conversation, and I still cannot get her words out of my head, even though Marcus thinks they were too hard on us. I do not know how to feel anymore. Am I really the bad one here for letting my sister believe for 6 months that my husband was hers? Here is the update. I wanted to be honest with everyone. I know I crossed a line. I get it now. There is no excuse. I was trying to make my parents see her for who she really was, but somewhere along the way, I became just as bitter as her and did something that went too far. I did not understand how much damage I was causing at the time. It was never supposed to be more than a wake-up call, but it turned into something cruel. After everything blew up, my parents contacted me and told me things I had never known about Na. I was stunned into silence. Turns out, Na has been struggling with a serious alcohol addiction for a long time, and I had no idea. After we revealed the truth to her, she had a relapse. She had been doing okay for a while, thanks to my parents keeping an eye on her, but that day pushed her over the edge again. All those vacations they had supposedly paid for were actually stints in rehab. I had no clue. Since Na and I stopped speaking when she left for college, I had no way of knowing what she was going through. My parents admitted that they probably made the wrong choice by not telling me the truth. They said they never imagined I would grow so resentful, never thought I would feel like they were favoring her, and they certainly never thought I would try to take revenge. Now everything feels twisted. I feel ashamed. I wish I could go back and do it all differently. I should have just blocked her number and moved on. But I did not. And now here I am, stuck with guilt I cannot shake off. Growing up, I never knew Na had problems with her behavior because my parents never told me about any of it. They always tried to treat us the same, and I think they actually did a good job. But keeping things separate between us ended up backfiring in a way no one expected. The truth is, both Na and I stopped seeing each other as people and started seeing each other as enemies. All that empathy you're supposed to have for family? It was long gone, and we forgot that behind all that hate was a human being who used to be our sibling. I honestly do regret everything that happened, and I have decided I'm going to visit her so I can apologize face to face. Normally I would not pass up a chance to talk badly about her with anyone who'd listen, but this time I am staying out of all the family gossip. I just hope she's okay. My parents told me they found her unconscious at her place after not hearing from her for 2 days. That had never happened before. Every other time she relapsed, she at least called them for help. But this time, she didn't. And when they found her, it was clear she had gone downhill again. I cannot imagine how hard that must have been for my parents, knowing their daughters were at such odds that there might be no fixing it. I do not know why I am putting this all out here, but I feel like I have to. Maybe somehow, Na will feel it. I am truly sorry. I went to see her today. She has been in rehab for a few weeks and is getting better slowly, but it was rough. When I walked in, it felt awkward and heavy. She looked like someone who had been through something real, something rough. It was not about how she looked physically, it was about the look in her eyes, her whole energy. We had not treated each other like family for years, but in that moment, we both knew we had to stop this. I apologized and admitted that what I had done was awful. I had hated her so much that I staged a fake wedding just to humiliate her, which was insane. She agreed and then told me she was sorry too for trying to get with Marcus, for everything. She said she had always felt like I was her competition, even from the time we were little, and that she never knew how to handle it. She told me she thought she finally won when Marcus married her, even if it was fake. But it was not real, and she knew that now. She said she was done competing, and even if we were not best friends, this could be the beginning of something better. I walked out feeling lighter. I felt like I got a second shot, and I am grateful. I do not even want to think about how I would have felt if things had ended any worse than they already did. Marcus and I are still together. That should have been obvious, but I guess some people were wondering because I had not brought him up in the last few updates. He knows everything that happened with Na and also said sorry to her. She was not ready to see him, but she made it clear that she does not hold a grudge anymore. She realized he was just trying to stand by me, and she said she understands that now. Marcus felt terrible about all of it and was just as responsible as I was. Some of you were calling him names and saying he was just as bad, and I get it, but I hope this clears it up. We both apologized, and Na forgave us. It is over now. A lot of you were blaming my parents too, saying they caused all this. I am not going to go there. Could they have handled it better? Sure. But they tried to manage everything quietly and gently. They thought hiding Na's addiction was best for everyone involved. Na and I hated each other, so there was no use telling one about the other. And they had no way of knowing things would blow up like this. I do not blame them. I just do not. Some of you still think Na is the only bad one here, and maybe she is, but I was no angel. I did something messed up, and if there is a chance to make it right and maybe even have a decent relationship with my family, then I will take that chance without a second thought. 1 year later, here I am. Things are better now. A lot of you thought my sister would betray me again, or that my parents and I would stop talking, or that I was the toxic one who should be cut off. But none of that happened. Life went on, and we all moved forward. Na and I put in real effort after everything. Not to become best friends, but to stop being enemies. We meet for coffee sometimes, maybe once every 3 months. That might not sound like much, but for us, it is a big deal. At one of our cousins' weddings, we were actually nice to each other, and that shocked everyone. We are not close, but we are not trying to destroy each other anymore either. Na is moving out of town for a new job. It is risky, yeah, especially because of her history with drinking, but my parents are going to keep an eye on things, and Marcus and I are ready to help if they need us. Things finally feel normal, something I thought I would never have. And there is more. Marcus and I just found out a few weeks ago that I am pregnant. We waited until I was about a month in, and then we told close friends and family on a group video call. When I told Na and my parents, they were genuinely excited. Na even sent me yellow roses the next day to congratulate me. Life feels good now. And I think that is what happens when you stop holding on to hate. I am looking forward to everything ahead.